You know, the only problem, General, with your statement about the A-10 is you have no replacement for it, and it's in combat and in operation in Iraq and Syria as we speak. So how do you want to retire it, but you have no plans, according to what's been submitted to this committee, as to the F-35s that will replace it? In fact, you have reduced the number of F-35s that we are requesting, and it doesn't match up, General.
Chairman, the mission capability of the A-10 will not be replaced by the F-35.
So we have a conflict going on in Iraq and Syria now, in which the F-35, which the A-10 is in combat, most notable when they destroyed the fuel trucks, and you have nothing to replace it with.
Sir, we would do the work that the A-10 is doing today with the F-16 and the F-15E predominantly.
You would do it with it. Why aren't you doing it now?
We are, sir. They're flying
Actually,
many or more sorties.
You know, that again flies in the face of reality. The A-10s are flying the most effective and most least costly missions in Iraq and Syria.
Chairman, we would love to keep it all. The fact is that the Budget Control Act.
But you have nothing to replace it with, General. You have nothing to replace it with. Otherwise, you'd be using the F-15s and the F-16s, which you have plenty of. But you're using the A-10 because it's the most effective weapon system. This is really, unfortunately, disingenuous. I mean, you have the options of using the F-15 and the F-16 right now,
Sir,
but you're not.
You're
using the A-10.
We're using them both heavily.
Yes, you're using them heavily.
heavily.
And
I mean,
every Air Force pilot that I know will tell you the most effective close air support system is the A-10.
Senator, if we have X amount of people and X amount of dollars, if
Yes,
we want to keep
and
all
you
those
have X
people-
amount of missions, and the A-10 is carrying out those missions, General.
No, sir.
It's amazing.
Senator, those aren't the facts. On the
Yes,
numbers.
they are the facts,
We can
General.
give you the numbers.
They are the facts, or they wouldn't be. The facts are on the ground in the destruction of the enemy by the A-10 aircraft. If you were not using the A-10, as you said, if you think the F-15, the F-16 can do the job, then you would be using them instead of the A-10. You know, General, I've had a little military experience myself, including in close air support. And for you to sit there and tell me that we could be using the F-16 and the F-15 when we're not, and your plans are to use the F-35 at 10 times the cost, eventually, it flies in the face of not just my experience, but the experienced pilots that I know, the U.S. Air Force pilots that I'm in constant communication with.
Senator, just my last comment. I don't want to argue this with you.
You are arguing facts.
Senator, I will give you the facts of how many targets have been struck by which kind of platforms in Iraq and Syria over the last year.
Yes,
we'll provide
and a significant number of them have been done by the A-10.
And more
is that true or false?
No, it's true. More have been
true?
done. More
then
have
why
been.
would you want to retire the least expensive, most accurate close air support system?
I don't want to retire it, Senator. But the Air Force has to get bigger to do all this.
But you haven't got a replacement for it, General.
Sir, we would be
For you
glad.
to sit here and say that you do is absolutely flies in the face of the facts. So enough said, General. Okay?
Okay, Chairman.
You know, it's really embarrassing to hear you say something like that when I talk to the people who are doing the flying, who are doing the combat, who say that the A-10 is by far the best close air support system we have.